All right, Salakia for that. I accidentally hit the wrong button. It completely knocked me out and it cut my recording off. So this is part 2 of the Man of Sin being revealed. So I'm going to let this play. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakagadash, and I give double honors to the elders and the apostles for the great Most of whom I learned from, and Shalom to the hopeful elect brothers taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. This is part 2 of the Man of Sin being revealed. I'm going to let this lady speak some, and we're going to go back into those precepts.
Was one of the early founders. So Jack Parsons was one of the early founders of our rocket technology program, but he's not talked about. And the reason he's not talked about is because he believed he was getting the inspiration for his rocket technologies through doing rituals. And he worked with Aleister Crowley and the guy who found Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard.
Okay, I'm going to do this right now. We're going to pull up. See, that one's loading right now. It kicked out. So we're going to pull up Aleister Crowley, who she just mentioned. That's Aleister Crowley. This dude is known for his magic. He was real. He talks about human sacrifice in his books, children, human sacrifice, perverted sexual practices. He's found on the cover of the Beatles, one of the Beatles albums, and a lot of rock stars have his name or quotes tatted on them. Okay, this is L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard. Hubbard. Let me see. He wrote the book Dianetics. That's him right there. Another Edomite. And you see right there, Tom Cruise explains how L. Ron Hubbard. All of these movie stars who are also Edomites, right? They go to his church, the Church of Scientology. The girl's voice from Bart Simpson, she goes to Scientology. And this guy wrote the book called Dianetics, right? He's another Edomite, right? Teaching classification and gradation, explain Scientology, whatever it is. It's probably a sanitized version of some kind of elitist practice that they understand that they can do in public, but other people don't get type shit or whatever the fuck, right? Okay, and then so you got L. Ron Hubbard hanging out with motherfucking Aleister Crowley. These guys are all kicking it with each other, and these two dudes hung out with the guy who she's
L. Ron Hubbard. So Jack Parsons was one of the early founders of our rocket technology program.
Now let's find Jack Parsons. Let's check him out. I don't even know what this nigga looks like. Jack. I just know but there's a band called the Jack Parsons Project. Jack Parsons. Let's see what he looks like. Because I don't know what he looks like. Let me see. Jack Parsons and the Babylon working ritual. And that Babylon working ritual was something he learned or had to do with Aleister Crowley. Because I remember that. It's like a 6-month ritual. So that's Jack Parsons. Look how normal he looks. Look, sex, magic, drugs, and rocket science. And at first, oh, it's a joke. Yet, he was really hanging out. Look how he just looks like a normal dude, right? They all look like this. Oh, just normal. Leave it to Beaver, golly, Wally, gee, be most fucking wicked seed line on the fucking earth, man. Because they were the ones petitioned by the Most High to do this shit. And what does the Bible call? What does prophecy call the ICBM missiles? There goes Aleister Crowley right there in the left-hand corner. The occult life of Jack Parsons. Look, let's check it.
Meet Jack Parsons, the father of modern rocketry and a disciple of dark magic. Born in 1914, Parsons was a self-taught rocketry genius. In the 30s, he co-founded an experimental group at Caltech. They were called the Suicide Squad, because their rocket tests were as dangerous as they were groundbreaking. His work led to jet-assisted takeoff for military aircraft and laid the foundation for NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. But Parsons had another passion, one that defied science. He was a devoted follower of Aleister Crowley's Thelema, practicing ritual magic and sex magic to summon supernatural forces. He became the head of the Pasadena...
He wasn't a follower. That was required. He wasn't just some weirdo. No. In order to perform what he was performing with the sword at this level, that was required. Just like with the Israelites on the right-hand side, there's a requirement for prophets. There's a requirement for the elect. There's a requirement for the wicked elite. They can't just be wicked. They're wicked, but at this level, you got to traffic in blood. You got to do things, man. And then you get the exchange of this kind of information.
Of the Ordo Templi Orientis, turning his mansion into an occult temple. His most infamous ritual, the Babylon Working, was meant to summon a divine goddess and usher in a new age. Then came L. Ron Hubbard, the future founder of Scientology. Parsons trusted him as an occult partner, but Hubbard ran off with Parsons' money and his girlfriend. The government saw him as a threat. Stripped of security clearance, blacklisted from aerospace, he turned to making explosives for Hollywood. Then,
see, that's it. All that right there, they throw that in there, that sanitizes it. It makes it seem like it's kind of cartoonish, right? Oh, it's kind of weird stuff. No, bro, this shit's real. Esau cannot move without the left-hand power, man. He cannot, just like Israel, just like the Israelites can't function without Yahweh on the right-hand side. He's our power, you guys. Motherfucker, the left hand is the power of Esau. Without the left hand, he can't fucking do shit. They have to have this, man.
In 1952, an explosion rocked his home lab. Parsons was dead at 37, officially ruled an accident, but some suspect suicide, assassination, or an occult experiment gone wrong. NASA distances itself from his past, but his legacy in rocketry remains. Was he a visionary or a man consumed by dark forces? Meet Jack Parsons.
See how they kind of just played it down? Like it's like, what? No, nigga. Listen to what this bitch is saying about his ass.
But he's not talked about. So Jack Parsons was one of the early founders of our rocket technology program, but he's not talked about. And the reason he's not talked about is because he believed he was getting the inspiration for his rocket technologies through doing rituals.
And the reason why he's not talked about is not because the other Edomites in power are ashamed of that. Absolutely not. This type of information is considered highly, highly, highly hidden and classified. You can't be in the elite at this level. You can't even talk about this shit. They'll kill your fucking ass. There's a story about Aleister Crowley. He rose up so quickly in his witchcraft practices that he did something with the fucking, I don't know if it was the Rothschilds or something that had to do with their family. They had a seal or some kind of thing. And he like kind of fucking made it public. They fucking almost killed his ass because of that shit. The secrecy amongst Esau, it's super, super fucking, it's necessary. It's like a law that's like their one rule. To them, that's like the fucking all of the 10 Commandments plus, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't tell the world that we're doing. That's how they've been able to hide themselves, because they have told the world what? That they're the Christians. They told the world that they're white. They've told the world that they're Americans, and they've told the world that they're the Jews. That's what they have done. They have taken all these images and formed a mask, and they've hid themselves. And look, it goes into this precept right here. And see, I was going somewhere with 1 Kings about Yahweh controlling the I'm gonna go back to it. 1 Kings. Esau shall no longer be able to hide himself. Be able to hide, because he's been hiding. He's been hiding under an alias since Jeremiah 49:10. Okay. But I have made Esau bare. Who? The Most High. This is how the story was written. So Esau, not only was he able to hide himself, he was able to hide himself because Yahweh sanctioned it until the time it was to reveal the man of sin. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. Secret. What was she talking about?
Worked with. So Jack Parsons was one of the early founders of our rocket technology program, but he's not talked about. And the reason he's not talked about is
because it was a secret. That's the fucking reason. There's not any other reason that she said this is why. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. When Yahweh decides it's time to reveal this motherfucker, it's going to be time to reveal his ass. His seed is spoiled, talking about all of them. Everybody in the Edomite, they're all fucked up. And his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Let's get, let me see. The revealing of the son of, the man of sin. The man of sin. And see, people, Christianity, the man of sin. Christianity says this is an individual that's a Nephilim. He's half fallen angel, half human, and he's one person, and he's going to be the Antichrist. That's all a perversion of the truth. That also hides the white man. See, when you're overly focused on Satan, the actual prince demon, and you think he fell from heaven, and he by himself is fighting white Jesus, right? And then you think the Antichrist is a half fallen angel, half man, and by himself he's going to be the Antichrist, and he's going to control the world. Yet you look at the white man, right? You got the white man doing all this shit. You got fucking Aleister Crowley, L. Ron Hubbard, Jack Parsons. You got George Bush. You got all these fucking white dudes doing fucking chaos all over the fucking earth. They're taking oil. They're causing coups in nations. They're forcing the entire planet into a digital fucking prison. Yet everyone thinks somehow the devil by himself, or the Antichrist, one day is coming, and nobody is looking at the fucking white man. You see how that works? And then you go to this precept right here. Right here. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. That's talking about 1770 AD, when the Romans ransacked Israel, and a few years before we would go into slavery, well, 1,000 years, and then we would go into slavery, and the man of sin shall be revealed, the son of perdition. The son of perdition, the man of sin, is talking about this same guy right here, Esau. That's who these two precepts go together. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. The man of sin is being revealed. These go together. And he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors. So this is talking about the whole fucking race, the whole nation, and his neighbors, and he is not. Look.
So Jack Parsons was one of the early founders of our rocket technology program, but he's not talked about. And the reason,
because it was a secret and it wasn't time. Oh my God. Because this would expose all of the upper echelon of the rulership of Edom. They all do this. They fucking all do this. And our people in entertainment, in Hollywood, in hip hop, our people, the 2/3 wicked Jakes, our people who are into politicians, Oprah Winfrey, Eddie Murphy, motherfucking Tupac, all that kind of shit, Jay-Z, Diddy, they have to submit to this shit too, right? And this is how they get their power. Because you're not going to be on these platforms that Esau controls and not be somewhat compatible to the left-hand side, and also be willing to keep secrets. This is why they never talk, you guys. You got to understand this.
Not talked about is because he believed he was getting the inspiration for his rocket technologies through doing rituals. And he worked with Aleister Crowley and the guy who found Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard.
Let's go back. We're going to keep going back and working that shit. So here you see it. You see there's motherfucking Aleister Crowley in the top left. You see, this is Jack Parsons. Real normal looking dudes, man. All of them normal looking fucking dudes, man. And then you got Aleister Crowley again, looking crazier, but did all that shit, right? He's wearing a triangle hat, being a fucking weirdo. And then you got motherfucking L. Ron Hubbard. Whereas L. Ron Hubbard, and that nigga wrote Dianetics, which is the foundation for Church of Scientology. And then all of the fucking movie stars that go to church, they go to this nigga's church. They go to Church of Scientology. And so look, check this out.
Diagnosis being dyslexic, and I became a Scientologist, and I heard about L. Ron Hubbard studied technology, and I thought,
this guy is like one of the biggest movie stars in America. What do you think he had to do, and what do you think he has to continue doing to be in that position? Because Tom Hanks is a simple motherfucker. He plays the same character. He's not a method actor. Have you ever seen him cry on cue? No. He plays the same basic white dude in all his fucking movies, And this motherfucker is one of the biggest actors in fucking Hollywood. He's not a Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp is wicked too, but he's not even at that level, man. He's basic as fuck. Basic as fuck. And you don't think this motherfucker, he's just like motherfucking this goofball. He's just basic. These motherfuckers are basic. They are the base man. They're basic as fuck. They're not intricate motherfuckers, man. Basic. Look at this. Look at this. That's fucking.
I'm sure you've heard the name, Alice
Ooh, but that's him. Look at this motherfucker.
Crowley,
bro.
but do you know the chilling truth behind it? Born in 1875, Crowley was more than just an occultist. He was a poet, a mountaineer, and a master of dark ritual. Known as the Beast, he pushed every boundary, indulging in practices that shocked society. His infamous book, The Book of the Law, claimed to reveal hidden truths from ancient gods. But was he a visionary or a madman? Unravel the enigma of Aleister Crowley and decide for yourself. Subscribe.
Look at the hypocrisy of Esau. Look how they talk about this motherfucker, bro, when they do talk about him. But who's on the news every night being accused of being the most fucking wicked people on the planet Earth? Jake. And who controls the media? These motherfuckers.
Aleister Crowley was a British...
Insane, man. So, L. Ron Hubbard, you see it. Let's get some fucking precepts. Because I fell off on that last lesson. I have created the Smith. I have created the Smith. All right? Because that's what we're gonna focus on this, and we're gonna show. I have created the Smith. Let me see what the fuck. Oh, my bad. I'm in So Esau's he's being revealed. He is the man of sin. I have created a Smith. This shows you the sovereignty of the Most High. He put it in these men's minds to be able to create this shit. Look, Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the Smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. I've done this. I made these people, right? So let's go back to the video, because she's going to explain how the waster got his information, and the how is on the left-hand side of Yahweh. This is what people don't understand. People think Satan is separated from the Most High, and he's not. He's an extension of him. He expresses his left hand. That's what you guys got to understand. That's what people don't get.
Hubbard. And so Parsons is believing that he is contacting non-human intelligences that...
And he is, and the elite don't even want the world to understand that, because they keep control over you guys, right? They keep control over everybody. And I'm not saying that we need to learn how to left hand. What I'm saying is they only want that information for themselves, so they can be the only one to apply it. But they don't even want their own people. They don't want other Edomites. Not talking about us. They don't want their own Edomites learning how to do that shit. Think about how crazy that is, bro. They don't want to talk about them because they're good people, you guys. Don't get that out of your fucking head. That's not the reason why. These are secrets, man. These are powerful secrets that they don't want other people to find out. Because what happens if some fucking Edomite learns how to do that shit, and he fucking learns how to do it and then tries to rise up in their shit and throws their shit off, and they don't got no control over his ass. Think about that shit, man.
His interpretation of them is that they're like deities, right? They're deities, and he even manifested one, right? And then married her. And but he believed that they were allowing him to create the rocket technology. Now that's that's his belief, and he was doing rituals to that effect. On the Russian side, you have the Konstantin Tchaikovsky.
And the Russians are also Edomites.
Okay, so earlier than Jack Parsons, but also creating rocket technology, also believed in non-human intelligence. So he believed that these...
So you got two Edomites on two separate parts of the planet in a divided state, one in Russia, one in America, both doing left-handed practices, both receiving information on how to create the biggest sword, the biggest weapon known to humankind, known to mankind, which is what? A fulfillment of this. Behold, and then the Most High brings it back to himself because he's the one that does it. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth in the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for work, and I have created the waster to destroy. What else has he created? He's created the left hand and the right hand, wicked and righteous angels, and he controls them both. I create good and evil, or light and evil, good and evil, and I control them both. Look, it's right here in the Bible. Christianity doesn't teach this. I form the light and create. I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. Here's another one. This is what people don't understand about God. They have this effeminate white man, old, effeminate, cowering version of God because of Esau through Christianity. When that's nothing, he's a man of war. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is a man of war. Look at that. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. This is what you're dealing with. He's the man of war. He creates light and evil. He controls them both. He creates the smith that creates the weapon to bring it about for the waster to destroy. He's the one, he's the information. He's the source code. He is the algorithm. He is the vibration behind all this, right?
Intelligences were angelic, and that he was, if you're in contact with that realm, that if you're specifically genius.
If you're in contact with the left-hand side, and you're an Edomite or an Amalekite is just the head tribe of Esau. You got to be you got to be a seed line Edomite, right? And you got to know the rituals. You can tap into the left-hand side and accomplish prophecy at that level. But of course, it's still controlled by the Most High. He chooses which Edomites go to him. They can't choose. But think about that. Listen to what she's saying, bro, and go by the scriptures.
Enough, that you'd be able to interpret their information and create what he created, which he was like Jack Parsons, but for the Russian side. So each of those kind of what we call them fathers of our space program were involved in something.
So now what we're going to do, we're going to go into, she's talking about those guys are the fathers of the space program, right? What race are they? They're both white people, right? The Edomites. Right? Okay. Now look at this. Obadiah. Look what Obadiah says. And what does Obadiah say? What does Obadiah say? Yeah. What does look at Obadiah. Look at this, bro. Look, watch. Look at this. It's one chapter. And how does it start off? The vision of Obadiah. So this is a right-handed prophet. This is a right-handed Hebrew Israelite seed line prophet, right? On the right-hand side, receiving a prophetic vision about Esau, Edom, right? The nation that would become the most powerful nation for a temporary time before Israel would rise up forever. And he's receiving information just as powerful as these fuckers were receiving on how to make fucking weapons. But this is a prophecy on when they're going to be brought down. Look at this. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. What's the population of the so-called white man on the planet Earth compared to the other 17 nations? They only make up about 7 to 8% of the human population, you guys. Verse 2 said so. Behold, I have made thee. This is why the sperm count is low. This is why they don't populate the way they should. Right here in verse 2. Behold, they cannot do what the movie says. They can't do anything but what the movie script says they're going to do in the movie. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Verse 3, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Because they take all the credit for the stuff that they get on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. They never give glory to the left-hand side. They take it all for themselves, right? The white man has done this. They're not white, they're the Edomites. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's talking about the rulership in heaven on the earth, which happens in Revelations 12. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, we know that their national bird is the eagle. It's on the globe. It's on the back of the dollar bill. It's on the quarter. It's on all the Roman coins. It's on the flag that identifies them. And even the Russians and the British and the French and the Spaniards have a form of the eagle on their flags or in their military or in their governments. So it identifies them all. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Who goes into the stars? But the people who have rocket technology. The people who do rituals.
So Jack Parsons was one of the early founders.
The people who do rituals to not only get rocket technology to blow each other up, but they get rocket technology to put up in space satellites so they can create the television, and then they can tell you their vision, which is lies, and fill the entire earth with false images of Yahushua as a white man and call him Jesus. To give you false images of the Most High, who is a man of war, and make you think he's an old, decrepit, effeminate white man with a long beard. To give you false images even of themselves. Golly Wally, GB, Leave It to Beaver, Gilligan's Island, Love Boat, all these MASH, all these TV shows showing you Edomites and these submissive, innocent, docile characters, painless and harmful or harmless. Yet they've taken over the whole fucking world because they're behind the scenes doing fucking rituals and being told what to do on the left-hand side to blow your fucking ass up halfway across the fucking earth like they did with Japan. And yet, to this day, still, everybody thinks the so-called black man is the most dangerous guy on the planet Earth. And this motherfucker can vaporize your ass from a satellite in the sky. And this bitch is going to explain how they tapped into the left-hand side, and yet nobody knows about this motherfucker. Yet everybody's afraid of the so-called white man because of his weapons, but they don't know how he got them.
Of our rocket technology program, but he's not talked about. And the reason he's not talked about is because he believed he was getting the inspiration for his rocket technologies through doing rituals. And he worked with Aleister Crowley and the guy who found Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard. And so Parsons is believing that he is contacting non-human intelligences that are, for his interpretation of them is that they're like deities, right? They're deities, and he even manifested one, right? And then married her. And
so supposedly that fucker got married to a left-handed spirit that was acting like a woman. That's crazy. Look at this, though. Let's get back up in here, all right? Let's go back to that story that showing you that the Most High controls all this. Who will go? King Ahab. First Kings. This shows you that Yahweh is in control of both the right hand and left hand angels. That Satan, the left-handed demonic spirit prince, is not fighting the Most High. Okay, it's Esau that is fighting it, that's going to try to fight the Most High. 1 Kings 22, verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall pursue Ahab, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one, this is talking about one of the angels, one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And so two angels on the right-hand side spoke. Verse 21, and there came forth a spirit. Now, why is it spoken this way? To show you that this is a different hand. Yahweh has two hands. He's got a right hand and a left hand. So this is the left hand coming to speak to him. It's not dishonorable. It's not disrespectful. It's showing you his functionality, his purpose. This is a left-handed expression. And there came forth a spirit and stood, because the other two, these are also spirits, right? It's spoken this way to show you that there is a division, but they're not divided because they both work towards the same goal. Yahweh is the only one that can truly have this. He's perfect balance. Esau tries to display it with the Republicans and the Democrats, but but they're not the Most High. You see this? They get it from here. So look, and there came forth a spirit and stood before Yahweh and said, I will persuade him. There's no disrespect here. There's no cussing. There's no dishonor. There's no, what are you doing here? Why? Because this spirit is seated there like the other spirits are seated there. Damn, man. And Yahweh said unto him, wherewith? How so? Tell me what you got. Show me your plan. And he said, I will go forth and I will, and this identifies it as a left-hand spirit because this is what he says. I will go forth and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all the prophets. And and the Most High said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Yahweh sanctioned it. Yahweh sanctioned it in front of these two spirits. And these two spirits, they didn't get mad. They didn't get jealous. They didn't get butthurt. They didn't go off later and say, you know what, that motherfucker, let's do something. There was no war started. This goes on all the time at the Most High's throne. And when you go into Daniel chapter 9, look, when you go into Daniel chapter 9, let me see, the wheels, hold on, let me see, the wool, okay, the Most High, the Ancient of Days, look at this, now, what we just read in 1 Kings is right here, the Ancient of Days. Look at this, Daniel. Okay, look, this is Yahushua being brought to the Ancient of Days after he died on the cross, right? I beheld till the thrones were cast down. This is talking about the rulerships, and one of those thrones that is cast down is Esau's. And the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and his hair as like the pure wool. So he's got an afro. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. What are these wheels? Those are all the chariots. That's his military. Those are his military vehicles. He's got military vehicles parked all around his throne. Look at this. A fiery stream issues. This is how you know you understand streaming from satellites, how it beams, where Esau is at the stars. He beams in a television, a version of information into your screen, and you're able to watch it. A stream of fire Yahweh is the source. It's coming out of him like a river. And it's going into all of these Alahayim on the right hand, left, and they're being sent down to earth to distribute. That's what's going on here. A fiery stream issued and came forth from him. Thousands and thousands of gods, thousands of powers, Alahayim, right and left. Thousands and thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set and the books were open. So what you see in Daniel chapter 7, Salakia, verses 9 and 8, right, is what was happening here. Look. Here, let me go back to this right here. Same thing. He's sitting on the throne. He's got his wheels. His chariots are all around him. And thousands and thousands and thousands are around him. It's these guys, the right and the left hand. And the Lord said, who shall persuade him? So he's asking a question amongst all these powerful beings that all got chariots. What are those chariots? Liken it into an F-14 or what's the most baddest fucking jet plane that Esau has? And imagine it 80,000 trillion million times more powerful than that. Every single one of those guys that are standing around Yahweh's throne can jump in one of them things and come to earth, man. That's what you guys are not understanding, man. That God, the Most High, the man of war, he is the one that sent the left-handed spirits to give these motherfuckers the information so they could make ICBM missiles.
So Jack Parsons,
so that they could get technology and satellites in space so that they could fucking deceive the whole world. He equipped them to do what they are doing. And just like he equipped them to do what they are doing, he's going to send his son. We're going to end it with this. And I missed a lot of stuff because when I first dropped the first message, 2nd Esdras 13, because he's going to send Yahushai, and Yahushai, this is going to be the war in heaven. Revelations 12, what's been misunderstood as Satan falling from heaven, is talking about the fucking white man falling from his power. That's what that's talking about. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from sea that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands, those thousands that surround the throne of Yahweh. They're with Yahweh Shai in those wheels, in those chariots, what the white man calls the UFOs. You don't think Esau doesn't know what those are, you guys? He's been going behind the scenes, tapping into the left hand to get weaponry ready, right, to subdue the earth and then to fight Yahushai. But he's going on TV telling you he don't know what the UFOs are. Get the fuck out of here, man. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number, and this is all under Esau's order, from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. There's no Satan, the devil, the left hand spirit mentioned in this. You hear armies, right? So this lines up with Revelation chapter 12. This is the more detailed expression of what you see in Revelation 12, and they use Revelation 12 to lie to the world because people don't understand what Revelation 12 is saying. Revelation 12 says, I beheld that Satan fell from heaven and was no longer able to rule. That's talking about the white man here. This is them falling from heaven. Because heaven and the earth is talking about power and rulership. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, talking about his chariot, his father's ship, and flew upon it. Mountains don't fly, but this mountain flies because this mountain is a chariot, and Yahweh's rulership is from a chariot right now. Yes. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flame breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, that blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one. So that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, which would make anybody afraid. Also, I want to add that in the Proverbs and in the Song of Solomon, Yahweh Shai is spoken to by the Father in the form of Solomon. It's a mystery, but he says, under thy tongue is milk and honey, and thy lips drip honeycomb, talking about the wisdom and the understanding that comes out of the mouth of Yahushai. That's all this right here. It's all the wisdom and knowledge and the understanding concerning judgment, concerning transgression, concerning time, concerning position of prophecy, switching of thrones, casting down of thrones, Esau's just due reward to drink the cup. All of that is described in the flames, his lips, his mouth. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Watch. Look at Song of Solomon. Under thy tongue is milk and honey. That's talking about something. That's talking about wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Thy lips, O spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. Isn't that fucking badass, man? It's talking about Yahushua. This, man, Esau's through. Once he comes, Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushua, call halal, Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushua. Look at this, Song of Solomon 4:11. Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. It's just amazing, man. Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushua, b'Hashem Yahushua, b'Hashem Rakadosh, we love your son. We love our king, our redeemer. We love our sister, our spouse. We love our spouse, Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushua Babakashah. Send Yahushua to destroy Amalek and Edom. Send Yahushua to destroy the wicked, so that the truth that has been so long without fruit. Let's get that. The truth that has been so long, It's in 2nd Esdras. Look at this, man. This is what we need. And Esdras, 2nd Esdras 2:28, 6 and 28, Salakia. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. And Yahweh said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I missed a lot of precepts, you guys, because I accidentally made the phone turn off and it cut off the recording. Salakia for that. I pray this lesson was edifying. Just listen to this one more time. Let's just get it. I'm going to let it play through. Fuck that. We got to hear.
So Jack Parsons.
We got to hear this revelation of the method, this small, sanitized version of the truth. Because trust me, there was a lot of human death. There was a lot of human sacrifice, a lot of perversion that took place in these rituals for them to obtain this information. Okay? They accomplished prophecy on the left-hand side. And Yahushua is coming to wipe these fuckers from the earth, man. These people are wicked, man. Okay? They are the biblical Edomites.
So Jack Parsons was one of the early founders of our rocket technology program, but he's not talked about. And the reason he's not talked about is because he believed he was getting the inspiration for his rocket technologies through doing rituals. And he worked with Aleister Crowley and the guy who found Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
And so Parsons is believing that he is contacting non-human intelligences that are, his interpretation of them is that they're like deities, right? They're deities, and he even manifested one, right? And then married her. And but he believed that they were allowing him to create the rocket technology. Now that's his belief. And he was doing rituals to that effect. On the Russian side, you have the Konstantin Tchaikovsky, okay, so earlier than Jack Parsons, but also creating rocket technology, also believed in non-human intelligence. So he believed that these intelligences were angelic, and that he was, if you're in contact with that realm, that if you're specifically genius enough, that you'd be able to interpret their information and create what he created, he was like Jack Parsons, but for the Russian side. So each of those kind of what we call them fathers of our space program were involved in something that was pretty similar, but one thought it was angelic and the other just thought it was, he's working with Aleister Crowley.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And what I found was that our space program today even has some really interesting rituals associated with it when it does certain launches at Cape Canaveral. Maybe not all of them, but the one that Tyler was involved with, they had images of Roman gods and goddesses put on the rockets. They would use Latin on their patches, their mission patches, and they would also have specific rituals that they would do, sometimes involving U.S. presidents. They would position the presidents at a certain point where astronomical events, would happen. The president of the United States, they didn't know what they were doing. They were just being positioned there. So, they're like, stand here, Mr. Obama or President Obama, and he would stand there with his wife and look this direction. It was part of the whole thing. So Jack Parsons.
I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakakodash. I want to give double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the other brothers who take this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb who is Yahushai, our King. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.